Every aluminum can begins its life completely flat. No shape, no curve, no identity, just a thin sheet of metal. Smooth, reflective, unremarkable. Inside this factory, those sheets arrive in massive coils, wound tighter than most people imagine possible. Each coil weighs several tons, yet feeds into the production line with absolute precision. There is no pause here, no warm-up. The metal unrolls continuously, gliding forward under controlled tension. Too loose and it warps, too tight and it tears, so the system balances it perfectly. Inspection lights pass over the surface, revealing microscopic imperfections invisible to the naked eye. Scratches, thickness variations, surface flaws. Anything outside tolerance is flagged immediately, because once the metal is shaped, there is no fixing it. The first transformation happens fast. Stamping presses strike the sheet in rapid rhythm, punching out perfect aluminum circles. Thousands per minute. The sound is sharp, relentless. These discs don't look like cans yet, but every one of them is identical, and that sameness is everything. The discs stack briefly, then move forward into deep drawing presses. This is where depth appears. Under immense pressure, each flat disc is pulled into a shallow cup. Not crushed, not forced, drawn. The metal stretches evenly, guided by tooling designed to prevent weakness. One mistake here means failure later. The cups exit the press still warm, still fragile, moving faster than most eyes can track. But they don't stop. They immediately enter the redraw and ironing stage. This is where the real shape is created. Each cup is pushed through a series of rings that thin the walls while increasing height. The base stays thick. The sides become incredibly thin. This balance matters. Too thin and the can collapses. Too thick and it wastes material. The machine adjusts pressure constantly, maintaining uniformity down to fractions of a millimeter. In seconds, shallow cups become full-height can bodies, still open at the top, still unfinished. Edges are trimmed next, ensuring every can is the exact same height. Trimmed metal falls away, collected for recycling. Nothing is wasted. Every scrap will return to the system later. At this stage, the cans look complete, but they aren't ready. They still carry oils from forming, residue from machines, so they move into washing tunnels. High-temperature water and chemical solutions clean the interior and exterior completely. Oil disappears. Surface tension changes. The cans emerge spotless. Drying jets blast away moisture, leaving bare aluminum exposed. Now protection is added. Inside each can, a thin protective coating is sprayed. Up to this point, every can is identical. Same shape, same size, same strength. They are functional, but anonymous. This is where that changes. After the interior coating has cured and cooled, the cans move into the printing line. Here, speed and precision combine. Each can begins to spin rapidly as it moves forward. Not randomly, perfectly centered. The surface is cleaned one last time. Any dust, any residue, removed. Because ink demands a flawless surface. The first layer is a base coat, usually white. It creates a neutral foundation, ensuring colors appear exactly as designed. Too thin and metal shows through. Too thick and details blur. So the coating is applied evenly as the can rotates at high speed. Immediately after, the cans enter another oven. Heat locks the base layer in place. From there, printing begins. Multiple colors are applied in sequence. Cyan, magenta, yellow, black, or custom brand tones. Each color is printed separately, but must align perfectly with the others. A fraction of a millimeter off, and the entire can is rejected. Sensors watch alignment in real time. Adjustments happen automatically. The result is something familiar. Logos, text, designs you recognize instantly, but none of it is decoration alone. Every line, every symbol, every word must survive heat, moisture, and handling. So once again, the cans pass through curing ovens. Heat sets the ink permanently. When they exit, the designs are locked in. Scratch resistant, fade resistant. The cans cool, then move on. Now comes one of the most critical transformations: necking. At this stage, the can still has a wide opening. Too wide to seal, too wide to hold pressure efficiently. So the top of the can is gradually reshaped. Not all at once. In stages, the can passes through a series of forming stations, each one narrowing the opening slightly. The metal yields a little at a time. This prevents stress fractures. The process is fast but controlled. By the final station, the opening is perfectly sized. Small enough to seal, strong enough to hold carbonation later. Next, the rim is flanged outward. This tiny lip is essential. It's what allows the lid to attach securely. It's what keeps pressure inside. It's what prevents leaks. If the flange isn't perfect, the can is useless. So cameras inspect every rim, every angle, every curve. Rejected cans drop out of the line immediately, sent back to recycling. Nothing defective moves forward. The approved cans flip orientation automatically, stacking into tall, nested columns. This saves space and protects the thin walls from damage. At this point, the can is complete. Not filled, not sealed, but finished. It has shape, strength, identity. It's ready to be used by brands, bottlers, and beverage plants around the world. But before it leaves this factory, it must be organized. Stacks of cans are separated, aligned, and lowered onto pallets. Interlocking sheets keep them stable. Stretch wrap secures the stacks tightly, holding everything in place without crushing the metal. Each pallet is labeled and scanned. Every stack is counted. Nothing is guessed, because these cans will travel long distances, across cities, across countries. They must arrive exactly as they leave. Forklifts move pallets into the warehouse, following marked lanes. Traffic lights guide movement. Even logistics is controlled. At the loading dock, trucks wait. Not early, not late, on time. Pallets slide into trailers. Locks engage. Lights switch off. And just like that, thousands of cans begin a journey. Still empty, but already complete. What happens next will depend on what they're filled with. But their role is already defined. To hold pressure, to protect flavor. By the time the trucks pull away from the loading dock, the cans are already finished. Not filled, not sealed, finished. Because everything that makes them reliable has already been decided. Inside the factory, the production line doesn't celebrate. It resets. Counters return to zero. Presses slow to standby. Ovens cool gradually. Nothing pauses. Because this place isn't designed to remember what it makes. It's designed to repeat it. Between production cycles, the quiet work begins. Lubrication systems purge their lines. Washing tunnels flush clean. Inspection cameras recalibrate. Every surface that touched metal is cleaned. Every tolerance is checked. This isn't maintenance. It's insurance. Because aluminum cans are unforgiving. They are strong because they are thin. Efficient because nothing extra exists. That efficiency leaves no room for error. A wall a fraction too thin will collapse. A rim slightly uneven will leak. A coating flaw will cause corrosion months later. So the factory treats absence of failure as a process, not an outcome. Meanwhile, scraps from trimming and rejected cans don't disappear. They move sideways, back into recycling systems. Aluminum is shredded, compacted, melted. It glows bright inside furnaces, losing its previous shape entirely. Then it's cast into slabs, rolled into sheets, coiled again. The loop closes. Nothing is wasted. This is one of aluminum's quiet strengths. It doesn't remember what it used to be. It becomes whatever the process demands next. That same philosophy defines the factory itself. It doesn't care what brand will use these cans, what drink they'll hold, what shelf they'll sit on. Cares about one thing: consistency. Because somewhere else, far from this place, another factory will take over. A beverage plant. There, these cans will be rinsed, filled, sealed, and labeled again. Pressure will build inside them. Carbonation will test their strength. And they won't fail. Not because they're lucky, but because this place already removed uncertainty. That's why this factory exists. Not to be seen, not to be remembered, but to disappear inside something familiar. Most people will never think about aluminum when they open a drink. They'll hear the sound, feel the chill. They won't imagine stamping presses or ironing rings. They won't think about coatings or flanges. And they don't need to, because when something is engineered correctly enough times, it fades into the background. It becomes invisible. That invisibility is success. It means the container did its job so well that only what's inside matters. The factory understands this. That's why it values repetition over novelty, control over creativity, reliability over recognition. Every can that leaves carries the same promise. Not excitement, not uniqueness, dependability. Again, and again, and again. The trucks depart, the docks clear. Inside, aluminum coils wait for the next cycle. Machines stand ready. And when production begins again, the same flat metal will become the same familiar shape. Quietly, precisely, without asking to be noticed. That's how aluminum cans are made. From sheets to shelves, by a process designed to disappear. Speech Balloon, now tell me in the comments, what factory, product, or everyday object should we go inside next?